I think you know the rules, so thank you, Neal.
Hi, my name is Neal Dixon. I live on Gabriella Court in Camarillo. I'm here, first of all, thank you all for allowing me to speak tonight. I'm here to address the subject of districting. And the reason I'm here tonight, rather than 2 weeks ago, is because I, like many members of the public, were unaware that a public hearing was going on a couple of weeks ago. So I'm here to make my comments tonight. I became aware as I was watching the City Council meeting on television. At that meeting, only one member of the public actually spoke on the subject of districting, a very important issue to this city. That member spoke in favor of a model where there would be 4 districts and 1 at-large elected mayor. I agree with that position. I think that's the best position we could take for our city. Remarkably, at the end of that comment by that speaker, and at the very first public meeting, all 5 city council members took a position that we should have 5 districts and no at-large elected mayor. I think that was a little premature at that juncture to have made that decision already. It appeared that the council had already given direction to council to move along, to staff to move along those lines, and the Camarillo Acorn did indicate that that was a done deal, and the Acorn indicated that there was going to be 5 districts and there would be no mayor. I think that there are a lot of flaws in the 5-district model, and I'm running out of time. I got a lot of things to say, but the 5-district model would allow a very small number of people to elect the city council members. I sort of did the math on it, and if there were 3 people running, as few as 1,600 people could elect a council member to this body. You multiply that times 5, and you have 8,000 people have elected the entire city council, which is less than elected each and every one of you. So I think that needs to be reconsidered. Also, each voter would only be able to vote once in every other election, rather than being to vote 5 times in the combination of the 2 elections as it stands now. I think that model disenfranchises the voters. It allows a very minority elected city council to lead this city, and I'm hoping that the city has not firmly that we have not directed the staff to move along those lines, and that we are still reconsidering what the model is going to be. This is the last city council that will ever be elected at large. You have the power to form the government that is going to follow you. You can. I think that the 5 districts, 5 council members is flawed, and I think that you have the opportunity to create a government that will take advantage of both the at-large model and the districting model, and that would be 4 council members and a mayor. And I hope that you're going to reconsider that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Counselor, do you want to address any of this perhaps at the end of this, or do you want to wait to a further time?
Mr. Dixon, Dr. Dixon, I think he's going to answer you.
Yeah, you would.
Yes, I can provide some information on this. With regard to the hearing on February 27th, I'm aware that the city made substantial efforts to get the word out with respect to that hearing. Ads were taken out in the Acorn, the Ventura County Star. It was on the message board right out here outside City Hall on Constitution Avenue. It was on the city's Facebook page. It was on the city's website. There was a flyer on all of the counters in the City Hall, and I've only given you about half of what effort was made to put the word out. So unfortunately, apparently, you didn't receive that word, but there was, I just wanted to confirm for you that there was a substantial effort to do that. So there's a series of 5 public hearings that are set. The council took action on January 23rd of this year to set those 5 hearings, and they're on the city's website, and you can find those. All 5 of those hearings were noticed before the first hearing, and in addition to all of what I just said, before each hearing as it's coming up, there's going to be another public hearing notice that goes out into the newspapers, and the public is going to be notified of that. As a matter of fact, I believe that the notice for the public hearing on March 27th is going to be coming out in a few days, and that pattern is going to continue. All of that community outreach that I just described to you is going to be done in advance of each of those 5 hearings. So the city is making substantial efforts to make that happen. Now, with respect to the number of districts, how many there should be, at the meeting on February 27th, the council did have a discussion about that, as they're permitted to do. However, I specifically made the point during that meeting that that was a discussion item, that the council was not making a decision with regard to the number of districts, and I expressly stated that that decision could not be made at that meeting, that would have to come back for further discussion. And so you and other members of the public are certainly encouraged to present your points of view with respect to the number of districts, as you did tonight. So that I'm clear, the next hearing is on March 27th. And at that time, there will be a discussion of all of the options for districting. The public is encouraged to attend. You and the rest of the public hopefully can be there to express yourselves on how many districts you think there should be and why. The council will be considering your input and will be making a decision on the 27th. The reason for that date for the decision is that the demographer who's going to be assisting the city in preparing the maps needs to know how many districts there are so that the maps can be drawn. You can't just tell the demographer to, draw 4 districts, 5 districts, and 7, and so on. It's got to be a specific number so that the demographer can then draw the number of districts. So that will happen at the meeting on March 27th. It'll be at the 7:30 calendar.
Okay.
Am I allowed to respond to that, or is my time up?
Yeah, his time's up.
Do you want, can
I
you
would,
get with him later in another time?
well, if he has questions, I think, we
Can
should,
he- okay.
let's take, go on.
I will be very, very brief.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that. The most important part of that is the issue of 5 districts a done deal or not. According to the Acorn newspaper, it is, and if it's not, I think that should be clarified.
Well,
Do you believe everything you read in the Acorn?
It's, it does influence the public. It's when they think it's a done deal, then they think it's a done deal.
well, I don't know if the Acorn reporter was here on the night of the 27th or they got it from some other source, but I was here. And I know that it was made clear that the council was not making that decision. It was not a done deal. It is still an open question, which I'm reaffirming to you tonight. And you and the rest of the public are certainly encouraged to come to the council on March 27th and give your input as to how many districts you think are appropriate and why.
Absolutely. I'm just glad to know that it's still an open debate. Thank you.
Thank you.